It's time to elevate your wealth with smart strategies and expert guidance. Most of us are just looking for practical ways to build financial confidence, protect our future, and no matter where we are in our journey, we have information for you. Joining us from Elevated Financial Management are Casey Elkins and Mark Stimson. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
Hi.
We're excited to talk about this. I hope you give me all of the advice today. Casey, I want to start with you. Tell me about the type of financial planning that y'all do.
You know, that's a great question because there are different variations of financial planning. So the group that we really work with are folks that are 5 to 10 years from retirement or early in their retirement, 5 to 10 years into their retirement, but we help people through that entire retirement journey. And so, you know, oftentimes people think of just stocks and bonds or mutual funds, but there's so much more to it than that. And I think that's really what separates us and makes us different is we do talk about income strategies. We talk about being tax efficient. How are you going to handle long-term care or medical concerns when you're in retirement? So there's a lot more to it than that. And then even to illustrate a point a little bit further, there's a lot of emotion behind this, right? Mm-hmm. So many advisors get caught up just in the dollars and cents of it, but ultimately those finances, why you save the money in the first place, is to create income so that you can go live your life and do what you want. And so that emotional piece to retirement planning is so important to what we do.
Yeah, Mark, and I want to talk about too the clients too. Dive in on what you guys are, who you're working with.
You know, we have a wide variety, as Casey just mentioned, of clients we work with. For us, I'm this year really wanting to ramp up working with single women, maybe those that are getting divorced late in life. That happens, right? We know that. Maybe you've lost your spouse. So we're really wanting to help those. We believe they're really underserved, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to, again, work with individuals that really need help because there are a lot of different pieces to retirement, true retirement planning. Going up the mountain, we call it, and just accumulating wealth is a lot different than coming down the mountain, totally different. Casey mentioned how important tax planning is. We have a CPA in our office, and that's a piece that a lot of the big box stores, they don't want to touch. You ask them a tax question, they will tell you that you need to go talk to your CPA or your tax preparer. We believe that that's not a good formula for success, right? You've got to understand what's going to happen when it comes to taxes. Because RMDs, required minimum distributions, tax torpedoes that can happen, these are things that you need to have a plan for. And that's what we really focus on at Elevated Financial Management.
So good. And Casey, often people think that they've left financial planning until it's too late. So what advice do you have? When should we start?
You know, it's never too late. I just want to say that because I think people do get caught up in this mindset of, well, time has passed me by, I'm beyond the window. And of course, the earlier you start planning, the better, right? Because then you have more runway to make changes and you can make adjustments. But that being said, we have had people that have come into our office that are 10 years from retirement. We've had people that come in that retired 6 months ago, right? So it really can be, it can vary, and it depends on the circumstance. Of course, like I said, the earlier the better, but it isn't too late. There's still a lot of things that can be done. You might have a little bit more limited options if you're not doing it early enough, but that doesn't mean that you still can't create success in your retirement with the right type of planning. But it all starts with a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is all about, it's not about us, it's not about what we do, it's about the person on the other side of the table and making sure that they can be successful, and everybody's situation is unique. There's no cookie cutter planning. We don't believe in one size fits none type planning. We believe in true custom tailored retirement plans.
I love the sound of that. And there's something interesting on your website too that I want to get to. It's a tax bill calculator. Tell me why this is important to fill out and what people can learn. There it is.
Yeah, you know, the tax bill calculator is really valuable because it's so interesting. You know, we see, as Mark mentioned, that a lot of firms don't talk about taxes and they don't bring that into focus. And ultimately, if you don't have that built into your plan, my question is, do you really have a plan for retirement? So
no.
Yeah, exactly.
The answer
right?
is no.
Yeah, it has to be part of it. Yeah. So the tax bill calculator, the tax tool is great. What it does is it allows you to put in a little bit of basic information about yourself and what you've saved, and then it shows you kind of the path that you're on if you don't make any changes. But if you were to do a little bit of planning, how you can save in your taxes and lessen that burden in retirement. And so it's a no-cost tool. It's a no-obligation tool. It allows people to have something that they can use at home and just see what a little bit of planning can do. And always on a hot button topic, right? Taxes.
Yeah.
And I'd like to maybe add to that too, because there's a buzzword right now, Roth conversions, right? Should I go ahead and convert a bunch of my qualified money, which is a 401k or an IRA, into a tax-free chunk of money? We love that, right? Most of us don't have enough tax-free money. But the point is, each person's situation is different. A lot of people believe just convert, right? But that's not necessarily true. If you don't have enough runway after that conversion, converting may not make a lot of sense. And that's why you need to work with someone that really specializes in making sure that a Roth conversion is truly going to benefit you, because it doesn't benefit all, even though all of the noise out there and Google and everything else makes it sound like you should be doing Roth conversion, but that may not be the case, for sure.
Gosh. Well, you guys brought all the information and the pro tips today. Thank you so much for being here. And for more information about elevating your wealth and talking with Casey and Mark, just go to the website that you see right there on your screen, elevatedfinancialmanagement.com.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Elevated Financial Management.